Can you lose your salvation, or is it once saved, always saved? I got the answer for you. You won't hear anywhere else. This is the basics, part 16. And if you've been watching this series and a shock to no one, I'm going to give you an analogy first before I tell you the hard answer. Let's say some billionaires contact you and say, hey, we got some great news for you. Whatever your dreams are, we're going to back you. We're going to give you the training, the education, the mentorship, whatever is needed, we're going to do it. We're going to make sure that when you get off this journey of becoming a beautician, a cosmetologist, a rock star, a TikTok influencer, a brain surgeon, whatever it is, you're going to be not only you're going to get the education to do it, you're going to be the best one. You're going to be trained to be the best. It's not about getting a certificate or a degree. It's about you being in the top, 5%. When we get through with you. Great news, right? Well, you start thinking about all this and you contact them again and say, hey, that's great, but look, I got these bills to pay. I got to support this family. I got to take my grandmother to the dentist next week. How's this all going to work? They're saying, hey, we got you covered. It doesn't matter. You need some money to feed your family, to pay the light bill, to pay for the dentist bill, whatever it is. Again, all of that will be covered, your transportation. We just want you to get the best education and training possible for whatever it is you're wanting to do in life. So you've always wanted to be an astronaut, a pop singer, a Navy SEAL, whatever it is. They're going to give you the training, the mentorship, all for free. All you got to do is show up. They say, hey, just show up, keep trying. You're like, hey, what if it takes 5 years? Oh, well, then if it's 5 years, what if it takes 6 years? Doesn't matter. You just keep showing up. So you start going to your classes and everything, and some stuff turns out to be kind of hard. You're like, wow, I'm going to really need a lot of help here. So you studied real hard. Your first big test, you got a terrible grade. It's an F. You're like, oh my gosh. So you're afraid they're going to kick you out of the program, right? They're going to say, hey, you're wasting our money and time. But you contact them again and they say, hey, we're going to help you with that. We're going to send a tutor, whatever. We're going to get you through. If you fail the class, you can take it again. We'll pay for it again. The door is always open. As long as you're trying, as long as you're there, as long as you want to be the pop star or whatever it is that you're wanting to be, we're going to back you up. We're going to help you no matter what. So hopefully most people that's wanting to be whatever, the brain surgeon, the rock star, they say, well, thank goodness the pressure's off. No matter how much time it takes me, I'm going to see this goal, this dream, it's going to happen at some point. It's just a matter of time. Now, there's some other people in this program, they got the same deal that you have, exactly the same, right? But they start looking around, they start noticing, hey, I noticed this one guy, he left class early. This other guy, he hadn't been in class hadn't seen him for a month or two. But then he shows back up to class. They let him right back on in. Like, what is this? So let's say you, the person chasing your dreams, hey, the pressure's off. You're studying. You're waiting for the big day. But these other students, they start talking amongst themselves. They're like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we don't have to be here. I don't like coming. I don't like getting up this early in the morning. Hey, we saw those guys take a few days off. We saw those other guys take a few months off. I mean, what are we really doing here? I mean, we got, our food's paid for. Let's just take it easy. Other students are like, they'll kick you out if you do that. I mean, the group of billionaires told everybody the same thing, right? You just keep trying, you keep showing up, you're going to make it eventually. Well, people start researching, like, I don't know. What do they mean by that, right? They start looking and debating, like, well, this guy said this, and this person said this, and, this student's well-respected, and he said this, and so the class starts to get empty. Some people just stop showing up. They're like, hey, there's really no reason to show up. I like it the way things are. I'm getting a decent, amount of food and bills are paid. Other people are, they're too busy arguing about whether you should show up or not show up. They don't even show up. Well, actually, all of these people, even the ones arguing you should always be to class or not in class, they're just trying to work the system. They're trying to figure out, hey, if I come to class every day, then I'll finally get the diploma. They're not trying to be the pop singer. They're not trying to be the brain surgeon. They're just trying to either show up and hopefully make it because they signed up. Other people are like, well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Eventually I'll get there. It's just one day it'll just happen for me, right? You keep your eyes on the prize, so to speak. You are trying to be that engineer, that brain surgeon, the pop singer. You keep trying no matter what. And the billionaires back you up. You know, there's a couple of times you got depressed and you stayed out for a couple months, but you came back. Every time you fell down, you got back up till finally you graduated. You got that degree, you got that training, and that you moved into that job. You moved into the top 5%. You're there. And there's your answer to the question. Everybody that wants to be with Christ will be with Christ. The door is open. Okay, we don't have to go and check a bunch of rules and regulations. That's what he told us. Keep following. As long as you're following me, you're going in that direction, then you're going to make it. You're there. You don't have to get lost in these conversations and try to go, instead of learning to be a brain surgeon, you're looking in the attendance policy. And you spend years discussing attendance policy with people when you should be studying to be a brain surgeon. That's why the Bible really doesn't address that, because trying to figure out the attendance policy or the sin quota, that's really not the point. The point is becoming a son or daughter of God, being transformed into that, not looking to see how much you can get away with or who's reading the attendance policy book wrong. There is no attendance policy. Okay, there is no. See, that man wants to create that. Man wants to have laws, rules, regulations. Hey, I hit this number, you know, or I'm above this number. Okay, that's what men are wanting, but God judges that. It's not some mysterious thing that you have to wonder, well, I hope I'm good enough, or I hope. No, it's not that either. It's you're wanting to become a child of God. You're growing in it. You're like, I want to follow you, Christ. That's it. That gets you in. Again, everybody, in the end, everybody that wants to be with Christ will be. Everybody that won't be with Christ, doesn't want to be with Christ, will not be with Christ. Now, of course, this opens up a whole nother box of questions that we may get to later. You can put your those questions in the comments down below. But I hope this helps. It's not about you worrying if Jeff is in class or is not in class. It's about you studying to become the pop singer, the brain surgeon. Okay, that's the point. Is God said, hey, I'm going to make it easy for you. All right, but you're on that journey. That's what you want to be. Okay, you're not just trying to work the system. See how much money you can get out of it. I taught college classes, and there were people that did that. They got these scholarships. They wanted to know what was the minimum time that I needed to be here to collect this money. They didn't care whether they passed or failed. Yet were they signed up in class? Yes. They cared nothing about graduating. They were just there to collect that check, get that money. Okay. Other people, they were on the same program, and they might have some absences, but they're trying to get that degree or whatever it was. Okay. Hope that helps. We're asking the wrong question. Okay. We're looking for an attendance policy that isn't there when we ask these questions about, well, how much. Okay. Focus on Jesus. Focus on becoming like Christ. Hey, God is going to help you in every way that he can to get you there. Hope that helps. As long as you're doing that, there's nothing to worry about. God bless you.